All right, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Ron and John, not your normal Ron and John show,
The Ron
but
John Show.
yeah, Ron John show. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about the RoofTec machine. I'm hoping we can do a giveaway. But a lot of people may not know this is John. I always forget, is it Haustein or Haustein?
Stein.
Haustein.
Haustein. Yeah.
Runs a company, U.S. Rope Access, and probably several others at this point. Nuga Lights is, I think, the latest. Out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he's actually been running the RoofTec machine now for a year and a half, almost going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
But he's actually the very first one also to buy one of the machines. So he kind of took a flyer on us as we were the new people in town. And so, yeah, we were hoping just to kind of pick your brain for a few minutes, kind of hear about what drove you to the machine, and then also, what your experience has been with it over the last year and a half, and the good and the bad. Feel free to be honest. There's no need to lie to everybody. We've had a few things we've had to work on with you over the year. But yeah, so yeah, feel free to kind of maybe start with just what drew you to the machine initially, and why'd you take a flyer on it.
I guess I've walked past all different brands and genres of machines over the years at the trade shows, and the first time I saw yours was at was it Huge in Atlanta, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
And
2 years.
And for me, what caught my attention was how compact it was, but then also the parent company, the brand. I was very familiar with the brand from prior industries, loved the performance, and I just knew if they were going to jump in and do something, it was going to be done right. And it's paid off. It was the absolute right decision to do for me. Legend brands, RoofTec's been phenomenal. The machine is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Well, we
Ron,
lost Ryan. Hopefully, he'll come back in. I think he's having some technical difficulties on his end because he was slowing down on me. But I was just going to compliment on that and talk about that, John. When you talk about legend brands and their equipment, this is one of the big things, and maybe Ryan will reiterate this because I always try to hit guys home with this. You're not talking about a local mom and pop distributor. It's a national distributor. How many you got now? 80 some? What is it? 90 some locations? What is it?
Yeah, well, technically, I guess we're the manufacturer. We've got our distributor, but we've got with our distributor who's selling the machine for us has 67 locations across the country and up in Canada.
So most people that buy this machine, you're not buying it from a guy, let's say in nowhere, Arkansas.
Right.
And then you got a problem with it, and you got to either get to Arkansas to get it fixed. There's pretty much a dealership in the United States close enough to get it serviced or repaired within 2-3 hours, even if you had to drive 2 or 3 hours. I mean, even if you live in nowhere, Arkansas, you can go to Tennessee and get to a get to a distributorship.
Yeah, I think for John, it's probably between Nashville and they got a place in Atlanta also. So
he's got 2 places.
It's probably about 2 hours both ways. So
there you go. But that's and John, that's a great point. And I'm trying to make Ryan hit home with that if he can get his internet to work. Did he pay his internet bill?
If only his internet was as reliable as the machine, right?
Anyways, but no, man, I want you to know, man, I love this machine because it's, basically it's brand new technology too. And I think that's a lot of people don't realize that this is something, and I don't know what your wash experience is. I mean, have you been washing a while, or is this something new you're stepping into?
2016 is when we got into the washing business. And,
okay.
And it was, for us, it was immediately off of ropes. I mean, that was our first jobs. We were hanging from, 100 feet in the air, pressure washing, looked like a bunch of astronauts. Every time we'd squeeze that trigger, it'd spin us around. So,
Welcome back again, Ryan.
I switched
good
my
to
other...
see you. Maybe if you didn't wear the Christmas onesie, your Wi-Fi wouldn't be glitching out on you.
I switched to my other Wi-Fi network.
That's
so
just a jacket.
Yeah,
so the corporate, we don't want corporate
to
think you showed up in a Christmas onesie. You may not have a job on Monday.
Yeah,
they wouldn't fire you before the new year, I
Yeah,
imagine.
my wife, we've got a snowstorm today, so I don't know if that's causing it or what. I may pop in and out a million times.
It's telling me that John has about 4 bars, and it's probably what he can look on his phone, and it's telling me you only have 2, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I can, if it keeps messing up, I'll just join from my phone. How about that?
That'll work. But hey, we just covered, we just reiterated that, you guys are a big company manufacturing these things. It's like no joke. Corporate headquarters is in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
You have manufacturing facilities for chemicals and building machines here in Phoenix. Now, is the machine built here in Phoenix? Or is it built in Prescott, right? Prescott.
Yeah, up in Prescott, and then
built in Prescott, Arizona. Which I've toured that place. It's a nice little facility up there.
Yeah,
and that's where they build. That's where you guys are building. I know the extraction machines. A lot of extraction machines. I saw a warehouse full of about 200 of them, which was crazy. Yeah. So, and that's the kind of thing. And some guys go, well, they're too big. They're not going to take care of you. I want to buy from a mom and pop. Hey, that's great because there's some advantages when if you got a local guy that's a really crackerjack guy that can build you a machine and he doesn't die on you. Then you're good,
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know if you know this, Ron, John can actually kind of speak to that also. I think on the same side of having someone local and small is always good, but having a larger company with a little bit more financial backing.
Well, I was just getting into, we were talking about his wash experience, and he says he's been doing this and rappelling from buildings and stuff. They got into it in you said 2006. So 2006 or 2016, did you say?
16.
So, you've been doing it 5 or 6 years now, 7 years. So I didn't know if he understood that this technology is basically a brand new technology. It's only been in existence for a couple of years, and he's one of only like 20 some guys that are using it, which to me blows my mind because I would think that more guys would jump on the RoofTec, bandwagon, considering you don't have to have 2 pieces of equipment. You can run the chem straight through the pump. You don't got to you don't got to downstream and have a weaker solution. You can control the complete solution ratio, which is a huge plus. And guess what? Your machine can surface clean too, where most of these soft wash systems, they can't surface clean. And we got to hit that home because I don't think people understand that. And then we talked about this with the aerial work, the type of pump that he's using, we're not losing pressure, right? I mean, and you can attest to that, right? I mean, is it 50 PSI per hose? What do you think it is? Have you looked at the gauge on that, or?
Are you asking me? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do the aerial work with it, and we were just talking about that because this type of technology, the pump actually sucks. So there's very little loss of pressure when you're going aerial. And with some of these other ag pumps, that's a serious drop in pressure for them because they just don't have the power. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so this gives the RoofTec, even in the aerial situation, an advantage. And Ryan, we just don't talk enough about that, because that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Especially if we always say this isn't necessarily a commercial type of unit, but here we're using it in a commercial setting, and we might want to rethink that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because I think it can be. You know what I mean?
I think for commercial pressure washing, it may be like if you're going to go out and do a bunch of flat work and you're going to go do a big parking garage, like you want 10, 12, 30 gallons a minute or whatever. But I mean, John,
unless it's new construction.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. But John, I don't know how high do you guys work? That's probably a good question that people may want to know too.
I guess the highest we pushed the RoofTec would probably be 160 feet vertically, and it did skip a beat. It was doing better than the drone that it was using, to the point that we scrapped the drone and just climbed up there and did it ourselves, old school.
Yeah.
The drone company don't want to hear that.
Yeah, we won't mention the name.
I was just gonna say, don't mention the name.
Yeah. Well, no. We got the ropes, we've got the lifts, we've got had the drone. We like the stuff off the ground. It's a whole different niche in itself. So to either have a machine that did everything we needed, because we're not doing a lot of horizontal stuff. That's not our niche. There's too many, in my opinion, there's too many people doing that. So I'm going up where there's nobody at in that market. When we started too, we had a lot of big campuses, and we would mount our pressure washers on the roof. We invested in electric units, so we weren't bringing fuel through their building. We even had 480 volt units that were heated that we could tie into their penthouses and pressure wash with heat off the side of the building, which was incredible. But now that we've got the RoofTec and a lot of these campuses, we just throw it in the back of the UTV and drive around the campus and leave the trucks and trailers in the parking lot.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I can find one of the pictures you sent me. I was going to send to Ron so he could throw it up there too of your guys' setup. Give me a second. I'll see if I can find that.
Well, that I guess that brings up a point. We're not in the game to get 12 jobs done a day. We're in the game to do 4 weeks on a project. That's where we want to stay and be there every single day. So we like the big ones, and having this machine has been huge for that.
Mm-hmm.
We've used it just to rinse glass. I mean, we'll fill up the DI tanks and use it to spray the pure water through the wands.
That's awesome. That's something that nobody ever thinks about.
Yeah, and we're blessed enough to have several, DI filters here, so we can keep up with a good 10 gallons a minute.
You ever use Culligan? Culligan?
Yeah, I've got about 8 of their tanks.
Okay,
but
then you know what you're doing. No, not many people know about that. I was talking to a window cleaner that does high rise, and I was telling him, I said, man, that's about one of the most effective ways, because I don't know if it's the same now because I don't know how big the tanks are, but we would get 10,000 gallons out of a tank before we had to swap it out, which is pretty good. They're telling me now it's not as good. People are getting about 7. So.
Well, and at the same time, so you're referring to like the little D45 tanks with the cation tank and the anion tank. It's good on the first round, but if they recharge it, I certainly don't get the life I've had on the
I don't. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and it's got to be new, but it's just I think it's a more economical way to go than trying to do your own. I just can't see trying to keep up with that. You know what I mean? If you're washing a lot of windows, people don't realize that in our industry that when you pressure wash, and I'll tell a little story. We had a building, I think it was like 5 stories, and we had done it, and we didn't book out the windows, but we rinsed with pure water, right? And they had the window cleaner come in, and afterwards the tenants go, hey man, can you have the guy come back to clean the building? Because the windows look phenomenal when they got done. And they go, we've got squeegee streaks in all the windows now, because the guy, when you get the high-rise guy up there doing it with a squeegee, they're not changing the water enough. They're not going to go, they're not rappelling off a building and worrying about changing that water all the time, where we're virtually washing the building and then we're rinsing it with DI. People don't realize it. You don't have to do the windows. If it's done right, you know what I mean? If it's done right. Now you get a bad tank, you get bad water, you got a problem, you got spots all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And Ron, I just sent you a couple pictures too, real quick, so you can see.
Okay, I'm gonna get them in here.
There's a couple of them that John sent me. You can post them up with just his setup so people kind of see what we're talking about. But I think one of the things that one of the big questions I get a lot also is the pump actually going to hold up? Because people worried, right? You have a pressure pump. They're all through the history of the industry. You don't run bleach through a pressure pump, and so I just wanted to ask you, John, how's the pump been holding up for you? And we can talk a little bit about.
He's only replaced it twice.
Actually, only once. So full disclosure, John had a machine. I think what happened was the first pump he got was actually had some issues just from general pump. Every now and then you're going to get that from any manufacturer, right? You may have a Honda engine that just for whatever reason's got something wrong with it. And he had a few issues with the pump, but yeah, I don't know if you want to talk a little about that. I've got a kid screaming. If you can maybe talk about that for a second, I'll go check on them. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Well, that boils back to the Legends brand. We had a huge company standing behind it. So getting the service, getting a replacement pump, and that's not a cheap pump. They didn't bat an eye. It was a phone call and it was done. And actually, I think Ryan flew out and helped put it in. But it's a version 1.0 what I had. So yeah, there might have been a few things that needed to be tweaked. And the machine I've got now, I'd buy 3 more in a heartbeat.
I cut that last sentence, so I'm whatever went on is good for me. Yeah, buy 3 more. I'll get you a purchase order written up.
Let's work on getting those stacked so I can keep them all on one truck. Yeah,
there you go. But yeah, I'm sure you mentioned you had some issues with your pump, but yeah, I flew out there and we worked on it and hey, go downstairs. We worked on it. We got it fixed and got you all taken care of.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you guys have working with us.
All part of being a dad.
Yeah, I know. Ryan. It's this is.
Don't worry, man. I've got my headset on, but I don't even know if the headset's actually turned on. You might be hearing all the background noise from me too. Here, let me make sure my headset's on. There we go. Now my head's on. Now you won't hear them. My kids are out there screaming.
It's actually a snow day here, so I've had more kids here than I was expecting today.
John was smart. He got in. He went ahead and got in the truck.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Closed the door. The kids are outside in the front yard pounding it. Daddy, come on in. It's Christmas time.
I know only four more days till Christmas. But
so Ron, I just want to do a little intermission. He was giving you a couple guys here asking what the degreaser is. Tell them what degreaser that you're giving away. If it's a degreaser or you're giving a surfactant away, I don't know what you're giving away. But
I think we should give the degreaser away. I think that's one that people should try out. There's lots of, I think our surfactants are the best. John uses our surfactants. But one thing I haven't really pushed a lot is our degreaser.
I told them all they got to do today at the end of the video is just to share and like this thing, and we'll randomly pick one person that shared and liked it. I'll have to tell you who shared and liked it.
Okay.
By the way, did you see that I won the Clearinghouse Stakes $1 million today? I'll tell you what, man. I don't know when these scammers, they never let up, do they?
Yeah, I think that check is on its way from India right now.
Yeah. As soon as I give them my Social Security and access to my bank account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just have to deposit the funds.
They'll have it right out the door.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna we'll give away a whole case, so 4 gallons of our degreaser. It's RoofTec. It's made by Legend Brands, our same chemist who does all of our other chemistry and carpet cleaning world and an exterior cleaning. It's called Contact.
And right now, I think we have 2 shares. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I may not be able to see them until we get off of the feed. Let's see. Yeah, you might have to pick these and just announce them in the group, Ryan.
Yeah,
because I may not be able to see them until. But we do have 2 shares, so 2 people shared it, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, cool.
Probably the 2 we have on right now, David and Greg.
Awesome. I shared it too, so maybe I'll just give myself a case of go clean my driveway. Yeah.
Ryan won. Did I ever tell you that Hydrotech gave their own machine to themselves one year at a convention?
No, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
I can see. And Legend Brands gives Legend Brands a RoofTec machine.
Yeah, exactly.
We can announce it right here.
Yeah. But yeah, John, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say. I know you're working too, so I don't want to hold you too long. But if there's any feedback, good or bad, about the machine, or if you have anything else you want to kind of say in regards to the system or even our chemistry or anything like that. I know you and I have had lots of talks with our chemists for jobs that you've Because you do a lot of weird jobs. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up. How good it's been to text you or call you. I think we walked some downtown streets, and I'd be, here's a problem, and you were on the phone with the chemist right then and there, getting the formulas figured out. And I was going I know one building we were getting ready to go one direction, and your chemist, he caught it and probably saved us a catastrophe.
Yeah. You're talking
using
that
the
was
wrong
like
product. So.
Marble, or not marble, but whatever that building was.
Yeah, the polished granite.
Yeah.
So but that's the chemists, the engineers. I mean, the fact that you've got educated professionals who can, roll through the calculator and the computers and spit out why you need to do it this way. It has saved us countless times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll definitely promote our lead chemist, or head of research and development, or I don't know what his title. He's got more degrees than titles, but Ron met him too, or Ron's met him in person. Got to kind of poke around his lab a little bit. But yeah, that's one of the things that I tried to do.
I thought it was funny, man. Walk right in. There's a copy machine. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's got the machine. You put whatever you want in there,
and
it smells it and tells you what's in it.
And you see every chemical known to man. I mean, they've looked at, taken a look at everything.
Ron, have you?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Ron, have you played with the hose that comes on these RoofTecs? It's incredible. It's you pull up with all the pressure washers around. They're just jealous of that hose. It's. I wish I could afford more of them. It's a neat product.
Yeah.
Is it readily available?
Yeah, it's light.
It's light. It's strong. It's from bleach to high pressure. It does it all.
Yeah.
I imagine the reason you picked that hose, Ryan, is because it's probably the only Teflon interior coated hose, right? Every other manufacturer's rubber.
Yeah.
So they're using a Teflon inside that hose, which the bleach hardly has any effect with it.
Right.
And it's light. Yeah. It's light and strong. That's the cool thing about it. And you can go to soft washing and pressure washing, and you're not lugging around. Have you ever lugged around a 2-wire hose, John?
Yeah.
That would not be good going 5 stories up, would it?
No. And that's probably what we did our first 2 or 3 years. So
yeah, I love when you're 5 stories up with 2 wire hoses, and the lift just kind of sways as you make that stop, because you don't realize you got 1,000 pounds of hose tugging on you.
Yeah, absolutely. We always would have like a third rope hanging off the building just to support that pressure washer hose and save that technician from it.
Yeah, dangerous otherwise. Yeah.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool to see you're an aerial contractor. I don't do that anymore, man. I don't want. I keep my feet on the ground. I've got a funny story that I think it was 96, because I've been doing this since 84. And in 96, I cut every ladder rack off the trucks. I got the last call from the Department of Public Safety, because our names were on the ladder, on the ladders, and the guys lost the ladder. And I was like, this is it, man. We're done. We're not getting on a ladder again. We're going to keep our feet on the ground, and we're going to wash concrete. And that's what we started doing in 96, and the rest is history. And I farmed out my all my aerial stuff to a guy in Ryan. Ryan lost us again. Hey, Ryan, did you make it back? Oh, he didn't even get in here. He didn't get in this time. Let's see if he comes back in again, or gets his camera working. I'm gonna bump you out, Ryan. Up there he goes. He bumped himself out. But yeah, I did that. I cut all the racks off the trucks and said, forget it, man. I'm not doing that anymore. And I had a local guy here for years that would do all the aerial stuff that we didn't do. He also did my parking garages and stuff too. I just keep my feet on the ground. But you're absolutely correct. There's a huge niche for that. And then, do you do any water towers or anything? Cleaning water towers?
We've done just a handful. There's not that many around here, so we'd have to travel. Which is
lots of guys do that and travel and make really good money. I know a couple contractors that do that, and they actually do. They actually love doing it. I'm not a traveling guy either, though. I like to stay home.
I do too. Yeah, that's how we've kind of set up our model. So,
Yeah,
you know,
sorry.
we've done it so long that, you know, our above ground insurance is actually extremely affordable. So I'd hate to lose that niche that we've got. You know, it's hard to come in the first year and get a good insurance rate if you're going to go above 8 feet.
Yeah, well, you've got all your guys. You're all like cave climbers, and you've got a pretty unique set of employees too.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chattanooga in itself has got, and I didn't know this when I started the business, but so many rock climbers and so many cavers here in the community. And then we've got some of the best rope techs probably in the world. I mean, these guys are phenomenal, and I was fortunate to start with them. So they do it right. I mean, safety is priority for them. You know, cleaning second, safety first.
Yeah,
and it's paid off. So, you know, that could be a secret that we're letting out of the bag. But when you go after these huge commercial projects, they're looking at safety first. You know, they've got a safety officer on staff. So if you can make him happy, you know, it's your job, and there's not many people are going to come to the table and bid on it.
right. Well, yeah, I think.
Well, most people don't know that you basically have to have a BMP when you step on those sites. They're not gonna hire you unless you do. I mean, a lot of guys don't realize that. The liability for them, if you give them a safety BMP and the other companies don't, they pretty much got no choice but to hire you. The liability game steps up for them immensely, because if they ever have an accident, lawyers, man, they're going to go after everybody. They're going to find out, hey, well, why'd you pick these guys based upon on price? And people don't understand that in that type of work, nobody's picking anything on price on that, because the bottom line is they don't want anybody who gets a catastrophic accident on their site. That's going to be a bad thing, horrible thing.
Right.
Ryan, did you decide to move? Did you decide to just go ahead and use the phone? We lost him. He don't have any. He's got no service up there in Washington. He's out of commission. Well, hey,
AOL dial-up.
Hey, man, I'll go ahead and wrap this up, John. We were on 27 minutes, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I personally like the RoofTec machine. I just think it's a great machine because, it's a tried and true. That pump's, it's been around a long, long time. General Pump's been around forever, man. I mean, and like you said, they're going to stand behind their equipment and their build. And hey, I don't even think the price, I mean, I don't want to talk about price because that's Ryan's deal, but I think the price is in line too. I don't think it's too, for what you get with that thing being an all-in-one package, the price is right. I mean, I can see that thing. I can see as it gets more popular and more known, I think it's probably going to jump up at least 20%. I think they're selling it too cheap. You may not think that.
No, I thought it was, when I first saw it and got the price, I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well, I mean, did you quote anything in comparison? I mean, they all want like 6,000 or 7,000 is where the competitors are. They're so much higher. And then
you need two of them.
Yeah, it's less. Well, that's right. It's less machine, because you don't even have as much as you got there. That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I always think it is. And then some of the guys that are just using the pure just electric pumps, and they're paying $40,000 or $50,000 for a skid. It's crazy. These are $130 pumps, man. That's what they cost at the RV store. I mean,
right?
Because that's all they are, really. I mean, you got a real machine there, and like I was trying to mention to Ryan, I said we realized on the last one that when you're going aerial, because he told me you're an aerial contractor, I was like, he's an aerial contractor. I mean, we didn't think about this, but you're not losing any type of pressure. You decided to just go back and lose the phone, huh?
No, I tried the phone. The phone wasn't working either.
Oh, he's gone.
No, I did that. That was me. Don't go anywhere. Hold on.
Okay.
That was me. That was me. I hit the wrong button, man.
Okay. No, yeah, I tried my phone.
I was just messing with you there.
Yeah, my phone is working worse than my computer, so it's just one of those days where nothing seems to be working. So I don't know. Yeah, so I missed the last few minutes. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but Yeah,
we were just talking about you, man. No, we were just talking about how good the machine is and how General's a solid thing behind everything. You know, let's wrap it up, man. You're gonna give away when you get off the thing. You'll look and see who shared it and announce one of those guys as a winner. So, guys, if you want to win a case of these chems, do it right now. Share this thing. Ryan's literally going to pick the winner in a few minutes. Now we lost John. We didn't even get to say goodbye to him. So we appreciate it. We appreciate him coming out, though, if he can still hear us.
There we go.
Hey, John, we're going to sign you out, man. I appreciate you coming. Ryan and I are going to wrap this up, man. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for popping in, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. All right. Well, at least you have a steady internet connection over everybody else.
I've got 4 bars. He had a good internet connection, actually. He had 4 bars the entire time. It's telling me you got 3 again. That's what it's telling me. You got 3.
I don't know if it's the snow
or you got to get that bill paid, man. Is it the wife that takes care of that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the snow or the ice.
They're throttling you at the end of the month here or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You used up all your internet.
Well, I got kids downstairs on devices and all that too. So
yeah, the kids are home. That's brutal. That's right.
Yeah.
They're home. They're all home on me too. But I send them a text message and say, "Stay off the internet for an hour."
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I'll look through who shared. I'll give it by the end of the day today. I'll reach out to somebody.
Super duper, man.
Yeah, then
appreciate you coming out, man. I hope you're ready for Christmas. We'll see you, and we'll do a video next week about the show. Guys, don't forget, man. Don't forget, Ryan will be teaching in Sandestin, Miramar Beach event on the 18th and 19th. The RoofTec will be there if you guys want to take a look at it. Get registered at nationalcleaningexpo.com, guys. It's free. Appreciate you coming out, Ryan.
Yeah,
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you.